My brother, go ahead and cry, for nothing upon this earth is holier than your Creator. My friend, go ahead and cry, for these creations I have created upon this earth are holy. Oh, Shilaya che ya yo, wa ble gleshka wa ek che we cha sha ke che bi ko mo yo ke lo. Oh, Shilaya che ya yo, ta ku wa kan wa ni che. Oh, Shilaya che ya yo, wa bi gleshka wa ek che we cha sha ki che bi ko mo yo ke lo. Oh, Shilaya che yo, ta ku wa ka wa ni che. My friend, go ahead and cry, for nothing upon this earth is holier than your Creator. My friend, go ahead and cry, for everything upon this earth, your mother is holy. My friend, go ahead and cry. I have cho nai cho yo ta che la ya. I have cho nai cho yo ta che la ya. I hani sha ke che wa shne. I cha me cha no che so ye na wa che ya ka che ya. I hani sha ke che wa shne. I cha me cha no che so ye na wa che ya ka che ya. Wa she cho ye ska wan ke che wa ta yesh e ashna le cho ka ta ku we ho ya la ki na ho le che li ani man pa wa she cho ye ska wa ke che wa ta yesh e ashna le cho ka ta ku we ho ya la ki no ho le che li ani man pa. Those last two songs, it is not necessary for you to learn those. They're just love songs. I stuck them in there so you can get the sound of two songs. One maybe if you're a single man, you can sing those songs for somebody, maybe your girlfriend or your friend's wife or whatever, whichever, your ex-girlfriend or something like that. The songs, the way they are made is that man never makes a love song. He just sings them. But it is the woman who makes the love songs. And the men are obligated to sing those songs. So sometimes a woman will make a love song about her former lover, her former boyfriend, and the husband has to sing the song. So this way, it always keeps everything in balance. That's the last song I want to do, and maybe she can interpret that last part of it.
Il a dit que ces deux dernières chansons, vous n'aviez pas besoin de les apprendre parce que c'était des chansons d'amour et qu'il les a mis simplement pour que vous ayez, pour que vous puissiez entendre la différence entre des chansons sacrées et des chansons d'amour. Mais il dit que là-bas, les hommes n'écrivent jamais des chansons d'amour. C'est les femmes qui écrivent des chansons d'amour et les hommes qui doivent chanter les chansons d'amour que les femmes ont écrites. Et quelquefois, une femme écrit une chanson d'amour à propos d'un amant ou d'un ami qu'elle a eu avant et son mari est obligé de chanter cette chanson. Comme ça, les choses restent en équilibre. Une cigarette et il ne peut pas s'arrêter de fumer. Donc, quand on fume, on a les doigts qui deviennent jaunes. Alors, si vous imaginez comment sont les poumons si les doigts sont jaunes. Et cet homme a été demandé pour faire partie d'une cérémonie de sweat lodge. Et sa femme lui a dit, bon, maintenant on t'a demandé de faire partie de cette cérémonie, il faut que tu arrêtes de fumer jusqu'à ce que la cérémonie soit finie.
He was married to one of those women that, one of those women that is very, I don't know what you call it in French. I guess it's a very bossy woman, domineering woman, In German they call them Hofdragen, One of those kind of women.
Un dragon domestique. Il avait comme épouse un dragon. Domestique. Un dragon domestique, c'est l'expression. Un dragon domestique.
But anyway, him and his wife went to the ceremony that evening. And by this time, my uncle was like this, He hadn't had a cigarette all day, It was very hard for him because he was smoking 3 packs of cigarettes a day, And some of you that smoke, you know what it takes to take 3 packs, smoke 3 packs in one day.
Et il fumait 3 paquets de cigarettes par jour et à la fin de la journée, comme il n'avait pas fumé de la journée, il était tout tremblant.
So when they got to the ceremony, the sacred pipe started to come around. It was coming slowly.
Et quand ils sont arrivés dans la cérémonie, la pipe sacrée a commencé à faire le tour.
And in this ceremony, all the women sit on one side and the men sit on one side. The medicine women sit over here and the medicine men sit over there.
Et dans cette cérémonie, les femmes s'asseyent d'un côté, les hommes de l'autre, la femme de médecine ici et l'homme de médecine de l'autre côté.
And the pipe was coming around, and every time, my uncle would look. It was coming towards him, and his whole mind was making sure that nobody didn't smoke too much. That's what he was more worried about. He was worried that they will run out before it got to him.
Alors pendant toute la cérémonie, il regardait les autres, regardait les gens pour voir s'ils fumaient pas trop. Et il ne faisait que penser à cette pipe et attendre que la pipe arrive jusqu'à lui.
So the pipe got to him, and as soon as it got to him, he grabbed it. You're not supposed to do all this, but he hasn't had a cigarette all day, so he passed 4, he was going into the 7th one. And his wife hollered out from the other side, "Take that pipe away from that man." Ran across and took it and passed it to the next person.
Personne n'a voulu la lui prendre. Alors sa femme a couru à travers la sweat lodge et lui a pris qu'elle a passé à l'autre aussi.
You know, so if you can think about a woman that's very domineering, that is willing to go across there, you know, cut across, clear across, just to take that pipe away from her husband so he can pass it on.
Il y a une loi dans le sweat lodge et ils mettent dans ces cas-là une offrande de tabac au milieu de la sweat lodge et il ne faut pas passer par-dessus cette offrande de tabac. Et alors vous imaginez à quel point cette femme était un dragon.
Criticism towards women because, you know, but you have to understand that there are a lot of women that are that way. You know, it's just as much as we have male chauvinists. You know, a lot of male chauvinists, and we have a lot of women that are the same way. They are very domineering. So what I'm saying right now is to let some of you single women and single men, you know, be careful of the mate that you choose. Make sure you are on equal balances.
Elle a dit qu'il a parlé d'une araignée qui était dans le livre. On parlait dans le livre, c'est pas une vraie araignée, c'est une araignée qui est un être spirituel, un être esprit. Et il dit, si vous voyez un être esprit, comment l'appelleriez-vous? Vous l'appelleriez probablement araignée ou vous l'appelleriez Jésus-Christ ou n'importe quoi. Il faut fantôme, oui. Il faut bien lui donner un nom. Les anciens l'ont appelé araignée parce que l'araignée a fait un certain travail, elle tisse une toile, elle mange des mouches, etc. Et en fait, ces esprits font le même travail sur le plan spirituel. Et c'est pour ça que les anciens les ont appelés araignées et ont gardé cette image de l'araignée pour ces êtres spirituels. Et il y a dans vos traditions, il y a aussi des êtres spirituels comme ça, mais les anciens de chez vous ont mis des apparences d'êtres humains à ces esprits, tous les gnomes, tous les corrigans, tous les êtres comme ça. Ils ont une apparence humaine ici, mais c'est la même chose que ce dont ils parlent avec les araignées. En fait, il n'y a pas que un qui soit comme ça, l'araignée, il y en a 8 différents.
Tomorrow morning, we're going to be covering the rituals because the time is catching up on it. We couldn't do it, but the whole thing of it is us old men, we got to get up very early in the morning, you know, so we like to go to bed early, you know, because no matter how old they are, they got to have their sleep.
Demain, on va parler des rituels parce qu'il commence à se faire tard et nous autres vieux hommes, nous avons à nous lever de bonne heure. Alors, même
some say it's heart attack, but I know otherwise because the U.S. government is a monster with many heads that doesn't understand what the other parts are doing. So I know that feeling, you know, that a man who helped me teach and who also helped me hold seminars in different countries, different places, has gone to the spirit world. This morning when we had our ceremony, I remember that man. I remembered him also. I'm happy for him that he's gone, he's resting now. And the sad part about it is leaving me behind.
Il dit qu'il y a 2 jours, dans sa réserve, un homme est mort. C'était un homme avec qui il avait beaucoup travaillé. C'était un des chefs spirituels aussi. Et il a fait beaucoup de choses avec lui, beaucoup de stages dans différents pays. Et il dit que le gouvernement américain est un monstre à plusieurs têtes et une tête ne sait pas ce que fait l'autre. et que en fait, bon, d'un côté, il pense que c'est bien qu'il soit mort et que maintenant il est dans le monde spirituel et il se repose et il est bien. La seule chose triste de ça, c'est qu'il l'a laissé derrière. Et il dit que ce matin, pendant la cérémonie, il a beaucoup pensé à cet homme.
To the world of the medicine man, there is no death, only a change of worlds. And in this world that we live, we try to be as happy as we can and teach as much as we can and help replenish the earth and helping our mother the earth. And then we go on to the spirit world that lies beyond. It is only a stop-off place, is a place where we stop long enough to go into the spirit world. And for those reasons, the Indian is never afraid of death. We welcome death, and sometimes we even pray for death, that it comes to us with good feelings, like a bird with soft wings coming after us. And in this way, we feel very good. But in other ways, in the system that you live today, you are taught, especially in the Christian world, to be afraid of death, telling you that there is a devil, somebody with horns, standing there in the fire and taking all those people who have committed wrong and throwing them in the fire. You know, this is the most fantastic story that has ever been told. It's all the world of fantasy. You know, if there is ever a world of Mickey Mouse Christianity, it has to take its place.
Alors, il dit que dans le monde des hommes de médecine, il n'y a pas une chose telle que la mort. Il y a simplement un passage dans un autre monde, dans le monde dans le monde spirituel. Et il dit que pour eux, la mort n'est pas une chose triste, au contraire, ils ne sont pas tristes de mourir, au contraire, c'est une chose qui est plutôt bien et ils cherchent quelquefois la mort et quelquefois ils prient pour que la mort vienne vers eux parce que c'est risque d'être plus facile dans la mort. Ils savent très bien que la vie n'est qu'un passage très court et qu'on va ailleurs ensuite. Il dit aussi que la mort peut être un compagnon, une sorte, comme il peut appeler la mort, et que ça peut être comme un oiseau qui a des ailes très douces et qui vole après soi. Et il a parlé de la mort dans la religion chrétienne en disant que les gens dans la religion chrétienne avaient très peur de la mort parce que il y avait toute cette histoire de Satan avec des cornes et du feu et des choses épouvantables. Et il dit, c'est vraiment une histoire incroyable. S'il y a vraiment un monde de Mickey Mouse, alors l'histoire de la chrétienté, l'histoire du diable et de l'enfer devrait vraiment appartenir à ce monde-là. C'est le monde de la fantaisie. C'est fantastique.
That we live, as we say, the circles within circles of the universal circles. We come from a circle, we return to a circle. Each and every life, in its own time, is a circle of life. Only in this life, the human life, the physical life, is the shortest life. From here, the life is 1,500 years to each circle. So your ancestors of 1,500 years ago, 2,000 years ago, when you go to the spirit world, you will not see them there. They have already went into the next circle. So you will never catch up to the ancient ones that have left. There's an ultimate plan that the Creator has made, that everything revolves in a circle.
Il y a des cercles. Il y a des cercles avant la vie et des cercles après. Et le cercle de la vie physique sur Terre est le plus court cercle qui existe. les autres cercles, le cercle d'après, font au moins 1500 voix. Et donc, si on veut essayer de retrouver nos ancêtres d'il y a 1500 ans, on ne peut pas les retrouver parce qu'ils seront passés dans un autre cercle. Hein, c'est-à-dire quand on retourne dans le monde spirituel, on peut trouver nos ancêtres, tous ceux qui ont vécu ici 1500 ans. Mais ceux d'avant, on ne peut pas les retrouver, ils sont déjà partis ailleurs. Et le Créateur a fait cela pour que tout soit en cercle et que tout continue constamment.
When you understand what life and death is all about, then on a spiritual approach, it is very hard to conceive the idea of returning back as something else, of having an alert mind mentally, spiritually, and physically, emotionally. You have an alert mind, and the ultimate punishment will be to come back again to the same circle. That is no one wants to return back here. It's like you have did your time in hell, and you don't want to return back to it. You want to go on to the next circle of life. When you truly understand spirituality, this is where it takes you. You don't want to come back and be a flower, so a bee can come and take away all the sweetness. So somebody comes along with negative feeling, cuts you and puts you in a pot like this. Or you might want to become back as a deer. Or you come back as a deer and somebody shoots you and takes your head and puts you alongside the wall. You don't want to do that, Or you might come back as a snake, and somebody kills you and takes your hide and tacks it on the wall, This is kind of feelings, that a person goes through life, People misunderstand reincarnation at its level. They forget what reincarnation is all about. Everybody wants to return back, to this place, I surely don't want to return. All I can give to this life is the teachings that I have received from my grandfathers, then I can go on, and that is a good feeling to me. And my children understand that, so my children, one day I will go to the spirit world, my children will not cry. My children will laugh. My children will have joy because everything I know I gave to them and I taught them. So their life goes on. So that is the ultimate feeling that we should have. Because of your grandfathers, you are what you are today. So you have to change your grandfather, or you as a human must change as you get older. You must change like the ancient people. You must pass on your dreams and your visions and your thoughts to your children, so they in turn will pass them on and pass them on. This is what we are taught to forget in this system that we live today. We are taught to forget that, so we take all our old people and we put them in an old age home, and there they deteriorate and they die of loneliness.
On ne peut pas imaginer, nous, qu'on puisse vouloir revenir sur cette terre. On n'a aucune raison.
Many years ago, over 2,000 years ago, to my people was brought a sacred object called the buffalo calf pipe. A sacred pipe that we use for ceremonies today, the exact replica of the original one that we have today, we use for spiritual understanding in the rituals of our people. And this sacred pipe was brought to us by what we know as a buffalo calf pipe woman, a woman who brought this teaching to us.
Il y a très longtemps, est arrivée dans notre peuple la pipe sacrée. Et cette pipe sacrée a été amenée pour nous et maintenant nous avons toujours cette même pipe sacrée qui a passé à travers les ans et elle nous a été amenée par
The teachings of this pipe has never been changed. It's always been the same. The songs has never changed. The prayers have never changed. The love has never changed. In these teachings of the sacred pipe, hate has no part in it.
Dans l'enseignement qui est relié à cette pipe sacrée, cet enseignement n'a pas changé depuis le début. Les chansons qui sont reliées, les chansons sacrées n'ont pas changé depuis le début. Les prières qui sont reliées à la pipe sacrée n'ont pas changé depuis le début. Et tout ce qui a été fait est fait encore maintenant. De la même manière que cela nous a été enseigné au début. Et la haine n'a aucune partie, n'a aucune part dans cet enseignement-là. Il disait l'amour est aussi le même. L'amour pour cet enseignement est aussi le même qu'au début.
When this sacred pipe was brought to us, it was at a time when the people were hungry because there was no food. In these days of the ancient people, man did not eat the plants, the vegetables, and the gardens that were planted upon the earth. They were for the consumption of the animals. It was the food of the animal, and they lived by that code. And man took the animal and ate the animal, and from the animal he received all the vitamins and nutrition there is, because the animal was natural. But today, the animals that we have are man-made, they are not natural. So it is easier for you today to eat the foods that the animals were given in the very beginning. When the people were hungry, they sent out 2 men. These 2 men were the best hunters of the tribe. And they were to go out and find food to eat. And in the process of looking for food, from a distance came an object. And as that object came closer, they realized that it was a human. But as it came closer, they realized also that it was a woman. And it walked above the earth in a sacred manner. She did not touch the ground, but floated above the earth. It was the most beautiful woman that these people have ever seen. And one of these people, one of these men, had negative thoughts. And he told his friend that was with him, "This is the most beautiful woman I have seen, and I will make advances towards her. We are out here alone, and I'm sure she will not do anything." And as this man approached this woman, the woman read his mind and said, "Come towards me and do what you have in your mind." And when the man approached another step, a cloud descended upon the man. And in a matter of seconds, the cloud lifted, and the bones of the man laid upon the ground. She turned to the other man and said, "You with positive thoughts, go home to the chief of the tribe and prepare a place for me. For tomorrow when the sun rises, I will come from the east."
Alors,
The man returned back to the tribe, and he told the chief of the tribe. And the chief of the tribe prepared a place for the next day. Inside the large teepee that they set upon the ground, they put sage, as it was instructed to put sage. Sage is for purification of mankind. And it tells us of the woman's teaching. Open your ears to the person who walks with the sage, for it is the truth that the sage is used for purification. She came to the place the early morning. She came from the east. The entire clan, the tribe, waited as she came. She walked in a sacred manner and came among the people. And she stopped. As she made the circle, she stopped to the west. In her arms she carried a sacred bundle. And in this bundle was a sacred pipe. She offered it to the west, to the thunder beings. She went to the north, she offered it to the vitalizers, the winds. She went to the east, there she offered it to the morning sun for a beautiful day, to the galaxies of the stars and the moons and the sun. She went to the south. She gave offerings to those that have gone into the spirit world and those that will follow, our grandfathers in the future and the present. She returned to the center and she gave an offering to the grandfather. And then she offered it lastly to our grandmother, the earth. And she said to the people, when you need of something, come to the center of the earth and do it in a sacred way. Come to the center and offer your offerings to your grandfather. For it is only through your grandfather that truth is to be known. And upon the back of your mother, upon the mother, only the righteousness and the strong shall live. And she spent the day with the people, instructing them the uses of the pipe and the sacredness of the teachings. Taught right from the very beginning was the way of the sweat lodge ceremony. It is the beginning, the purification ceremony. Although the purification ceremony has been done hundreds and hundreds of years before this, the sacredness in the 16 teachings of the great mysteries were explained to the people that gathered there. the way of the sweat lodge. So the rituals of the buffalo calf pipe, the sweat lodge became the first one. To always purify yourself before you enter into another ceremony.
Elle a enseigné à ce moment-là la cérémonie de la sweat lodge. Elle a expliqué, bien que la sweat lodge ait été pratiquée depuis très très longtemps, même avant cela, c'est à ce moment-là qu'ils ont reçu l'enseignement de la sweat lodge avec les 16 mystères qui sont reliés à la sweat lodge. Elle a expliqué ça à ce moment-là à son peuple. Et c'est ainsi que le premier enseignement du rituel des gardiens de la pipe du buffalo est la sweat lodge. Et l'enseignement de la sweat lodge. Et on utilise cette sweat lodge pour se purifier avant n'importe quel autre.
The second that she taught was the Hamble Chapi, which was known as the vision quest. How to receive a vision on the mountain in time of spiritual needs. Why does a person go to the mountain to receive a vision? Is it because of selfishness? No, it is not. It is because a person within the family of one person is sick and is dying. And this person goes inside the sweat lodge, and there he asks the medicine man, would you pray and make my mother well? And if she is made well, then I will offer 4 days and 4 nights without food and water on top of a mountain. I may not receive a vision, but this is all I can offer. So this was the beginning of the vision quest.
Le deuxième enseignement de la pipe sacrée est l'enseignement de la quête de la vision.
The young people of today misunderstanding the ways of the vision quest, mostly because of what they want something to be the way they want it, rather than being the teachings of the ancient people. One of the things today is that many people go to the mountains for vision quests and come back with 2 or 3 visions. It is impossible. Cannot be. It's not instant. It's not like instant coffee. You take powder and you mix it with hot water and you drink coffee. It must start from the very beginning, from the seed into the boiling point, and it becomes coffee. It is the same. I know of medicine men in their old age who for 20 or 30 times on top of the mountain they have not received one vision. And yet the young generation runs to the mountain and comes down with 2 or 3 visions. It is impossible, I will say that again. Maybe you receive dreams. Maybe you receive psychedelic visions because your mind has been altered by drugs and misuse of herbs and plants. Your mind deteriorates. The cells of your mind are squashed, smashed, and you receive psychedelic visions, and you call it visions, and you follow them, and you will die with them. It will kill you. It takes many, many years of dedication, many, many years of meditation. It does not come instantly. It cannot be done. It is hard. But nobody said it's going to be easy. It is very hard to receive a vision on a mountain. Only in this way that a person can pray for his relatives and he offers himself 4 days and 4 nights without food and water sacrificing on top of the mountain for his loved ones or for his friend. He spends that time. And that person might receive a vision. And if it does, then it has to be interpreted by two medicine men. It is very hard to receive a vision.
Alors la quête de la vision a été complètement mal comprise par les jeunes et par les gens de maintenant.
Many years ago, among our people, was a chief. He was the bravest chief, he was the strongest chief, he had the most of everything. His family made him everything. They made him beautiful moccasins. They made him beautiful shirts and pants. And he had the most beautiful eagle feathers. He was the most arrogant chief that we had. You might call him a super Indian. But he was a man of this sort. He had the most horses. He had the best teepees. And one day, because of his arrogance, he told the medicine man, I am now ready to go on a mountain for a vision quest, to receive the greatest vision man has ever received. And his family, his wife, his mothers and fathers, prepared the place for him, and they prepared him well. And the entire tribe, his clan, took him to the mountain. And the two medicine men took him to the sweat lodge. And they took him to the mountain. He had the most beautiful pipe. Everything was beautiful. It was beholding to the eyes of what you want to see. This man, as he was in all his glory, his beauty, and his strength, this man went to the top of the mountain to receive a vision.
Alors, il y avait un homme parmi les Indiens.
He went into the vision pit and he sat down to receive a vision. And he prayed hard. He cried, he sang, through the day and through the night. A day, a night, nothing. And on the second day, he heard a voice. But the voice, instead of praising him, the voice said, shut up down there. So the chief looked around to see who said this. He looked all around. He looked into the trees, into the weeds, and the grasses, and the rocks. And the voice said, I am looking at you, I am the rock. Be quiet, I am trying to sleep. Shut up and sleep yourself. But the man continued his crying, his praying for a vision. He cried as hard as he could, hoping that he will receive a vision. And the voice disappeared, and the man went off to sleep.
Alors, cet homme est arrivé en haut de la montagne, sur le sommet de la montagne, et il s'est assis pour faire sa quête de vision.
He prayed, he woke up, and he prayed on through the night. And all night he sang, prayed. Early the next morning, as he was having a pipe ceremony, greeting the new day, he heard that voice again. He said, I told you to shut up down there. You have kept me awake with your silliness all night long. We are trying to sleep. The trees and the grasses and the plants and the rocks, we are tired of listening to you. We are tired of listening to you as you keep us awake all night long. Why do you do this to us? The chief looked up at the rock and he didn't say nothing, for he felt that he was beyond the plants and the trees and the rocks and the animals. He thought he was greater than the creations of the Creator. And he continued to pray, he continued to cry and sing. And the rock said to him, "Look at me, I am coming down. We are tired of you." And the chief looked upon the rock on the hill, and the rock started to move. And the rock started rolling down the hill. In the process, it knocked down trees, it smashed other rocks as it rolled his direction. The chief jumped back into the vision pit because he was afraid. But when he looked, the rock did not reach him. And the rock started laughing. "You are so cowardly. You don't know how to pray. You don't know how to sing. You have no respect. And let us go to sleep." And the chief lay down and he finally went to sleep towards the evening.
Et alors, après avoir dormi, et après,
On the fourth day, the man cried again all night long. After he woke up in his short nap, he started praying, he started crying, he started singing. The next day, early in the morning, he did his sunrise ceremony with his pipe. And as he prayed, he heard that voice once again. "We told you to be quiet." For 3 nights, look up, and the chief looked up at the rock, and the rock started rolling again, knocking the trees down, smashing everything. And just as it was about to roll over the pit that he was sitting in, the chief jumped out, threw the buffalo robe down, and his nakedness, he ran down the hill as fast as he could run, back to the sweat lodge, fell into the sweat lodge, and scared the 2 medicine men sitting inside. They couldn't understand who this naked man was coming flying inside the sweat lodge. And he told the medicine man, "Quick, come on up to the mountain. I had a great vision." He said, "You must see it." He said, "A rock has landed on top of the vision pit. It has smashed my pipe. It has smashed my feathers. You must come and see." So the relatives also gathered, and the entire tribe went to the mountain. When they got to the vision pit, everything was as it was. There was no rock. The pipe was in one piece. The feathers were left the way they were. But halfway down the hill was the buffalo robe, where he left as he ran. And this man never received a vision, but lived out the rest of his days in shame, because he thought that it was easy to receive a vision, to go on a mountain and pray. I'm the only one that can pray. I'm the only one that controls the way to the spirit world. I have the ultimate in with the Creator. I can get a prayer answered anytime I want it to be done. It is impossible. The ways of the Creator, they will make fun of you. They will give you psychedelic visions. For you see, prayers, understanding comes from the heart, deep inside, and not from the mind. You cannot make nothing happen, for you are only like the grain of sand as it washes to the beach and the water takes it away. You are but a grain of sand in the eyes of the Creator, each and every one of you. And sometimes one is heard, while others are not. The story behind this is, do not be as great as you think you are. You are only a human. Respect yourself. Respect the plants, the rocks, the trees. Respect the things that the Creator has created. Respect other people in their ways, in their visions, in their understandings. Respect them in that way. And in the end, when it is your turn, you will receive the greatest vision by having patience. Have patience, for nothing on this earth is instant. It does not happen instantly. You are young today, you will be old tomorrow. Maybe when you are old, you will receive a vision. We cannot progress fast enough. But I will tell you once again that this life that you live today is very short. It is the blink of an eye of the Creator. Make the best of it. If you go to the mountain for a vision quest and you don't receive a vision, don't feel bad. And go again. And go again. Again and again. And maybe you will find a rock rolling towards you. Do not be afraid of the rock, for the earth in its ways will not harm you. Then you will receive the greatest vision that humans reach out for. If this chief stayed in the vision pit, although the rock rolled towards him, although he was told to shut up, if he stayed and kept on praying in the vision pit, he would have received the greatest vision that a human has ever received. Have patience.
Alors, je sais plus où on était, mais
Au matin des quatrième jour.
au matin, oui. Alors, au matin du 4e jour, il a commencé à pleurer et à prier toute la nuit. Et le lendemain matin, il a refait sa cérémonie de la pipe et il priait. Il a de nouveau entendu la voix du rocher qui lui a dit: mais fais donc pas tant de bruit. Tu nous as gardés réveillés, nous, les animaux, les pierres, les plantes, les arbres. Tu nous as gardés réveillés toute la nuit. On n'a pas pu dormir. Et on est vraiment fatigué de toi. Tu n'as aucun respect. Tu n'as aucun respect pour personne. Tu n'as pas de respect pour les arbres, pas de respect pour les rochers, pas de respect pour notre sommeil. Mais le chef ne voulait rien entendre. Il ne voulait rien entendre parce qu'il se croyait au-dessus de tous ces êtres. Et il a continué à prier. Il a continué à prier et à crier et à pleurer et à faire tout ce qu'il devait faire. Alors le rocher a dit, cette fois j'en ai vraiment assez et je vais te rouler dessus. Je vais venir vers toi. Et le chef a regardé en l'air et il a vu que les rochers effectivement commençaient à rouler. Ils commençaient à rouler en écrasant tout sur leur passage et en faisant un bruit terrible. Et juste au moment où les rochers allaient arriver juste sur lui, le chef s'est mis à courir et à courir très 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 fort. Il était tout nu et il a couru jusque dans le Sweat Lodge où il a rencontré les deux hommes médecines à qui il a fait très peur en arrivant. Ces deux hommes médecines ne comprenaient rien du tout ce que c'était que cet homme tout nu qui arrivait en courant. Alors il leur a dit, venez vite, j'ai eu une grande vision. J'ai une grande vision. Les rochers là-haut sur la montagne sont descendus jusque sur mon endroit, jusque sur mon lieu de vision, et ont écrasé ma pipe, et ont écrasé mes ailes. Ils ont tout écrasé. Venez vite voir. Et alors tout le monde est venu, non seulement les hommes médecines, mais tous les gens autour de lui, et toute sa tribu. Toute sa tribu est montée sur la montagne. Et quand ils sont arrivés là-haut, tout était normal. Rien n'avait bougé, sa pipe était là dans le seul morceau, et ses plumes, et toutes ses affaires, et l'endroit n'avait absolument pas bougé. Oui,
A young man or young woman is born of man and woman. The grandfather comes with his wife and the grandmother, and they say that is going to be the spiritual person. It is the grandfather and the grandmother who takes the medicine man. A medicine man does not become a medicine man by itself, made by man, but made by the grandfathers. And at the young age of 9, 10, 11 years old, this man is taken at this time to the mountain for a vision quest. But for this young man, it is a different thing. It is going there to become something, to become someone. For he had the ultimate blessing of all the medicine men. He has the blessings, so he goes and he receives. And from that mountain, from a vision, comes the medicine man. It is like the time of Moses. A man goes to the mountain and prays and comes down with his commandments. Moses would have made a good Indian if the teaching would not have been abused to this day. The commandments made by man to be lived by man. The vision quest, the young man becomes one of the medicine man that I have explained. This is the way a man becomes a medicine man. This young man returns back from the mountain and has the vision. And the grandfather says to his son, I will take my grandson now and I will teach him. Every morning when the sun rises, when the morning star rises in the morning, the old man goes outside and sings to the rising of the morning star, to the night preachers, and bringing a new day until that old man goes to the spirit world. And this is the way the young medicine man is taught from the very beginning. He does not go and spend all his life somewhere, never understanding his language, his culture, and the ultimate teaching, and expects to become a medicine man. You can only become a sun dancer. A man who is a sun dancer is a person who can run sweat lodge ceremonies, who can do basic things, but the ultimate teaching he does not receive. For it is in the lives and the hearts of the people. It is passed on for generations and generations. It lives, it breathes, it passes on. To be a medicine man is to be born into the teaching and the language and the songs. And he lives his life never ending, for the world is his university. He does not need the teaching of anything other than the earth, and to be part of it. And he uses the clouds as his blanket and the earth as his bed. For it is the ultimate teaching that he must live. And if man becomes, a woman becomes a medicine man or woman to the end of time, he does not become one, and after he gets tired, he quits being one. It is impossible. You have to be from the beginning to the end. A man with the traditions, the tradition ways, asked to go to the vision quest, to look for him or herself. And this man says, if you would take me to the mountain for a vision quest, I will sundance for 4 years. I will prepare myself for 1 year. And I will dance at the Sundance and piercing for 4 years. For this, I will ask that my mother be made well of her ailment. And the mother is made well, and this man has to sundance for 4 years. But after the mother is made well, the son refuses to carry on what he said he will do. And when this happens, another loved one is taken away from him by the Creator, the ultimate sacrifice. So, when you decide that you must pray for a loved one who is dying, and it is made well, you must carry on your commitment. Those commitments must be carried on. It cannot stop. For many, it is called the Wiwang Wachipi, which is the Sundance. It's one of the highest among our people. It is also for the respect of women. For man never suffers physical pain in this life, while our sisters give birth to children and they suffer physical pain. So man pierces himself so that he will understand what pain is, and he receives pain and learns how to cope with pain. That is the third one, called a Sundance. Now here you happy the keeping of the spirit. A baby dies, the parents keep a lock of hair. They keep the memory of this baby until it is 1 year old. And after it is 1 year old, they release it to the spirit world. It is only at this time that a family shows love by keeping of the spirit of a loved one. Not over a year, but just 1 year, keeping of the spirit.
Alors, si un homme est dans le chemin de la tradition et qu'il veut avoir une quête de vision,
A young girl comes of age of her time of her moon, the puberty ceremony. For the family of this girl, it is a very spiritual time because this young girl has come to that time. It is at this time that the family feeds the entire tribe and give away every prized possession that they have that is of material wealth. This is the ultimate giving of a man of his daughter, of respecting his loved one, his daughter, because she has become a woman. Sometimes this ceremony is known as the ego ceremony, the puberty ceremony. Ceremonies are carried on for 4 days and 4 nights. But when a woman goes through her menopause, none of these elaborate ceremonies are done for her. For she has lived her life as is according to the plans of the Creator in giving life. A woman gives life. And it is the ultimate time when a woman is in this stage of giving life because of this understanding that it should be the most spiritual time for a woman during her child-giving years. If she can only understand herself, meditation, prayer, and to know the ultimate teaching. And when she knows these things, she will not find the need to go inside of the sweat lodge because she purifies every month. Physical purification, which is also a spiritual purification. It was you, our sisters, who have given us this sweat lodge with those instructions. And it is we again who will turn and to remind you of those instructions. You have given us a teaching. You must live by that teaching and understand it. And respect yourself, who you are and what you are. Man comes from woman. We all come from our mothers. And we must respect that. The puberty ceremony is one of the most important ceremonies there is in the history of all mankind. But somewhere along the line, the road, you have forgotten. In its place, destruction, deceit, hate, all these came about, where today our sisters do not understand what it means to be a woman. Man has lost respect for the woman because the woman has lost respect for herself. It is very simple. But woman must be the first to seek, to look, and man follows along, learning from her. Again, say that the puberty ceremony is the greatest ceremony that was taught by the Buffalo Fat woman.
Alors, quand une jeune femme entre dans la puberté,
a man has a friend, and this friend comes to him. This friend is of another nationality, maybe white, black, yellow, red, orange, green. Whatever this person is, comes to this person. And they become brothers, and is called Mukakahapi, making of a relative. It is also one of the greatest things that a man or woman can bestow upon a friend. For in this ceremony, this man becomes a brother to his friend. And each one must be willing to die for each other. It is so strong that if his real blood brother and his friend who is made a relative, if they were both drowning, he will save his friend instead of his real brother. That is how strong making of a relative is. It is like a man and woman comes together. A man takes a wife. He forsakes all others. If his wife and his sister is drowning, he will save his wife. It is one of the ultimate ceremonies. You call it a marriage ceremony. We call it making of a relative. Of two people uniting in one. In spiritual, in physical, in mental, and in emotions. They come together as one. There are few people among our people who have truly understands this. And if I so choose that I pick a man from Russia or China to become my brother, and we have a ceremony that we go through, then this person can do everything that everybody in the tribe can do. He can do anything he wants to do, be part of the sun dance, and it is not questioned by the tribe. A man might have blue eyes and blonde hair, but to the Indian people, he is a man. He has forsaken all others. When a man does this, he has left behind what he is or what he was, and he becomes part of that family. The parents of that family know and understand that they have gained a son or a daughter, and they accept that person. And in the parents of the woman, they also, or the friend, also understand that they have gained maybe another son, and he is treated as one. He is treated as just like their own flesh and blood. Matter of fact, it is stronger because it is a spiritual understanding. Many orphans we have, people who died, their mothers and their fathers have passed away. These people we take and we bring them into our own family, making them a relative. And although that person is not of flesh and blood, that person automatically becomes a spiritual son or daughter to the family, accepted by the tribe, and it is not questioned. There is only one man walking today that was done that in recent years. He's a man with red hair and a big red beard. And my cousin gave him the name of Crow Dog. So he has his first name and his last name, but in the middle he has Crow Dog. But no one dares question that. No one dares say, where'd you get that name? Because if they do, they have to deal with Crow Dog. And if you know my cousin, you don't deal with Crow Dog. You just walk away from him and don't say nothing. So in this way, we bring our relatives, making of relatives. We become friends. We bring people within the tribe.
Alors, quand un homme a un ami,
Last one, the throwing of the ball, or kapa wakayapi, is a time when a woman, a young woman, again, there are two ceremonies. Of these 7 rituals of the sacred pipe, 2 of them deal with women. The second one is throwing of the ball. And at this time, a woman has left the family, left the mother and father, has taken a husband. Again, it is a very sacred thing, a sacred ceremony. For it is at this time the young woman gives away all her worldly belongings to her friends and goes to the man. Rituals, sacred things, songs and prayers are done. Medicine men are called in. ceremonies are done over the woman. The most elaborate of all the ceremonies, from the sun dances to the uwipis to all the ceremonies are done by different medicine men. And then in the end, the marriage ceremony itself is done. Today, in this modern generation, it is recognized, the Indian marriage ceremony. On the 3rd of October, I will be doing a marriage ceremony for the first time in Europe, in Holland, by two people from Holland, recognized by the government of Holland, the first government to accept this law that is passed by the U.S. government, that the medicine man is able to do ceremonies, marriage ceremonies, recognized by the U.S. government, and over here now the government of Holland. It will be something new for me for this year, because also this year, in the spring of this year, was the first time in the history of Europe that we have taken a man, a European man, on a mountain for a vision quest. It was the first time this year. But that man studied with us for 6 years. Not only myself, but other medicine men. He traveled among us in the sun dances, in the language. He understands what he has to do. So this year is a special year. Not only myself, but for my tribe and the teachings of the pipe, teachings of the buffalo calf pipe. The throwing of the ball as a ceremony will be done in 1987. And at this time, the circle will come to a close. That all these rituals have been carried out. As a ceremony in itself, it has not been done. Only as a marriage ceremony, many marriage ceremonies have been done. But there is a special ceremony that goes with throwing of the ball. But there's only 3 medicine men who fully understands this ceremony. A very sacred time for us, and it will be done. At the sweat lodge, you've seen and used the sacred pipe. You were part of that ceremony. That pipe that you smoke that you don't realize what you were doing is the ultimate teaching. The teachings of the buffalo calf pipe woman. It was the time when man started to break away from the sweat lodge. Years ago, that this buffalo calf pipe came once again to remind us that the sweat lodge is important and it is part of the buffalo calf pipe ceremony. That pipe that you smoke has been smoked by thousands of men and women and children. It has made over 50 medicine men. It has made over 50 chiefs in the last 100 years. So the pipe is old. So if you don't know what you're smoking, or holding or praying, I tell you now, it is beyond you. You are like the grain of sand. I just want to let you know that some of the things that we do, especially this pipe that I'm carrying along with me, is not so old. It's about 100 years old. It's about all. But what it has done and helped do, and the diseases that it helped cure, you must understand this. That within the ceremony of the sweat lodge itself, the buffalo calf pipe is also used to purify. Before you go to see the buffalo calf pipe in South Dakota, you must first go into the sweat lodge. For without the sweat lodge, you cannot see the buffalo calf pipe, because that is the ultimate teaching, the highest. So we understand it in this way, that these rituals that we've mentioned are only rituals. They are basics, but yet they are part of the teachings of the buffalo calf pipe. It was at this time that the woman who gave us this pipe, after she taught a whole day of these rituals, she went towards the east where she has come. She lay down upon the ground and she rolled. And when she stood up, a brown buffalo stood up. 4 times she did this, and 4 times she changed. On the 4th time, she turned into a buffalo, a white buffalo bull, and walked off into the east. And when the tribe followed it over the east, they found hundreds of buffaloes lying on the ground, so that the tribe will hunger no more. The teachings of the giving itself. The elderly woman of the tribe, before they partaken of the meat, the oldest woman took the head of a buffalo and faced it to the west as a thanksgiving of a new day and of a day passing. And she offered song. She made a song for it. And she sang a song to the setting of the sun, and giving thanks to the new day. And so it comes to close the teachings of the buffalo calf pipe. Everything that I have been teaching you within the last few days has been from the buffalo calf pipe. The sweat lodge is only part of it. In order to know the sweat lodge, you must know these rituals. These are sacred. These are not funny things that you learn by books. These have been given by some people who gave their life, so that this teaching must go on, and we pass on to these teachings. Everything that is sacred connects to each other. None is higher. All is the same and one, as the Creator is one. We cannot say God in one hand and the Great Spirit in the other hand, because the God and the Great Spirit are one. Grandfather and the Great Spirit are one. They are one in the same as the Creator. You call him God, Some people call him Allah, Buddha, the Great Spirit, the Grandfather. The Indian wishes to call him the grandfather because we are so family-minded that we consider him to be our grandfather. And of course, the earth is our grandmother because the Creator intended it so. Oh, Dr. Some song will be 3 songs that I did not sing that are part of the ceremonies. One of them, you heard me sing it every time the pipe is smoked. It's a pipe song, a sacred pipe song. It's also been recorded. Some of the other ones have not been recorded. My friend, always do it this way. My friend, always do it this way. My friend, always do it this way, and all things you ask for will be given to you. My friend, always do it this way. When you come and stand in the center of the earth, pray in remembering me, and all things you ask for will be given to you. My friend, always do it this way. My friend, always do it this way. When you sit down upon the earth, your mother, ask in remembering me, and all things you ask for will be given to you. My friend, always do it this way. My friend, always do it this way. Chano baki le chuo, chano baki le chuo, le yu ha ho cho kao yaka ringte, le yu ha ho cho kao yaka ringte, ate elo, ate elo. Chana pa ki le chuo, chana pa ki le chuo, le yu ha ho cho kao yaka rikte, le yu ha ho cho kao yaka rikte, ate elu, ate elu. That's the first song from the Buffalo Calf Bible.